Hi Ayush. Good morning Devjit. Not yet, लेकिन अभी के लिए. ये तो दूसरा वाला वाईफाई है शायद. ये सॉरी क्यों लगाया है पेन होल्डर पे? ये पेन होल्डर नहीं है, ये ग्लास है. मैंने टूटा दिया ना ग्लास को, तो मैंने सोचा कि मैं इसको ना वो बना देती हूँ, पेन स्टैंड बना देती हूँ. और ये देखो तो टूटा हुआ है, इसलिए लोग बोलते हैं ना ग्लास को तोड़ के वो जोड़ नहीं सकते. इसको सॉरी बोलो और जोड़ो ऐसा करके बोलते हैं ना. तो मैंने वही आइडिया लगाया और इसमें सॉरी लिख दिया ताकि वो ग्लास चिपक जाए. इंग्लिश मतलब नहीं, नेपाली. बन गया नहीं बनाया. मैंने बोतल को पिचक दिया वार्म वाटर डाल के. अटेंड नहीं किया आयुष. इसको थोड़ा पीछे रख देते हैं. हाय कमेला. कमेला कबेलो. कब से नहीं किया ना, वाईफाई स्टेबल नहीं था. ये थोड़ा दूसरा वाला वाईफाई. हाँ, स्टडी सेशन स्टडी. लेकिन सेम भैया का है. नहीं है. हाय शमशाद साहब. metal oxide plus hydrogen, metal hydroxide. हाँ मैंने बोला था तो नेटवर्क स्टेबल नहीं है ना मेरा वाईफाई। हाय वॉल्टर वाइट, हाय पार्थ। तुम अभी आई थिंक एलन में अच्छा कर रहे हो, लेकिन इट डजंट मीन कि तुमने सबसे अच्छा किया हो, पहले तुम्हारा रिजल्ट अच्छा हो। क्योंकि ना जब मैं नीट की एग्ज़ाम दी के आई थी, तब मैंने बोला था ना कि मेरा एग्ज़ाम अच्छा नहीं गया। तो एक पता नहीं उसका नाम क्या है मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन उसके ना कमेंट अभी भी है वहाँ पर। वो आके बोला कि उसने बहुत अच्छा किया है, उसका लाइक 670 या फिर 650 इतना जितना आएगा। फिर मैंने बाद में रिजल्ट में के बारे में पूछा ना, तब उसने बोला कि उसे 640 समथिंग मिला है और उसे कॉलेज नहीं मिलेगा। इस बार तो 640 में कॉलेज मिलता है। तुम लोग आके बस फेंकते हो, तुम लोगों का स्कोर अच्छा नहीं आता है। तुम लोगों को शर्म नहीं आता क्या? एटलीस्ट मैं तो ऑनेस्ट रहती हूँ, तुम लोग तो ऑनेस्ट भी नहीं रह पाते। वैसे भी स्कूल में सिखाया ही जाता है ना, ऑनेस्टी इज द बेस्ट पॉलिसी करके। नहीं सीखा कुछ भी तुम लोगों ने। हाय वीवो, चलो पढ़ाई करते हैं। आई होप कि तुम इस बार स्पैम ना कर पाओ, इस बार तुम्हारा एलन से अच्छे से सिलेक्शन हो जाए। वरना तुम नेक्स्ट ईयर फिर से आ जाओगे, बोलोगे कि तुम्हारा 640 आया और फिर भी तुम्हें कॉलेज नहीं मिलेगा। अगर तुम्हारा इतना ही आया है तो तुम पोस्ट पे डालो तुम्हारे चैनल पे, मैं जाके देखती हूँ। झूठे गई का। तुम्हें नहीं बोल रही हूँ आयुष, शमशाद को बोल रही हूँ। सबको डांट डांट के थक ही जाती हूँ मैं तो। The galvanized article is protected against rusting even if a chain coating is broken. Can you reason this out? The galvanized article is protected against rusting. Self studies. वैसे पढ़ भी नहीं रही हूँ मैं अभी। हाय पायल, हाय अंकित। हाँ पढ़ लूँगी, तुम्हें बताने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। आ जाते हो मुझे ज्ञान देने के लिए। वैसे मुझे ज्ञान की ज़रूरत नहीं है। Good Parth. The galvanized article is protected against rusting even if the zinc coating is broken. Can you explain? Galvanized articles are protected against rust even with a broken zinc coating due to zinc sacrificial protection. Zinc is more reactive than iron. So when exposed to moisture and oxygen, it corrodes preferentially, protecting the underlying iron. This means that even if the zinc layer is damaged, the exposed zinc will continue to the exposed zinc will continue to oxidize, preventing the iron from rusting. Coating iron or steel with zinc. Article is rusting even if the zinc coating is broken. Sacrificial protection. Zinc acts as sacrificial anode, meaning it corrodes or oxidizes more easily than iron. Oxidize. Zinc is more reactive than iron, meaning it will react with oxygen and moisture in the environment before iron does. Okay, Payal. Even if the zinc coating is scratched or broken, the exposed zinc will still react with the environment, forming zinc oxide, which protects the underlying iron from rusting. Sacrificial protection. Continued protection. The process continues as long as there is zinc available, providing ongoing protection to the iron and even after the coating is damaged. Sacrificial protection. Zinc is more reactive than iron, so when exposed to moisture, sacrificial protection. Sacrificial protection. Zinc sacrificial protection. The following activity needs the teacher's assistance. It would be better if a student wear eye protection, hold any of the sample taken above with a pair of tongs and try burning over flame. Repeat with other metal samples. Collect the product if formed. Let us let the product and the metal surface cool down. When which metal burns easily? List of metals that burns easily. Sodium, lithium, magnesium, okay, sodium, magnesium, aluminum and titanium. Sodium, magnesium, lithium, titanium, even aluminum. What flame color did you observe when the metal burned? List the color of metal flame while burning. The color of burning metal flame is determined by the specific metal present due to excitation and the excitation of the electron with the metal ions. Okay, sodium yellow, potassium purple, lithium crimson red, calcium orange red, copper blue green, magnesium white. Mg, WHIT white, Na sodium yellow. Potassium purple, barium green, copper blue, iron gold when very hot and bright blue, or green turning to orange brown, purple lilac, crimson red, orange red. Arrange the metal in the decreasing order of their reactivity towards oxygen. Are the products soluble in water? Metal oxide, obviously. Does all metal oxide dissolve in water or get soluble? No, not all metal oxides are soluble in water, while some metal oxides, particularly those of alkali metal group 1 and some alkaline earth metal, are soluble. The majority of metal oxide are insoluble. Soluble. Not all metal oxides are soluble, okay? Reactivity of metals with oxygen. Some metals like potassium, sodium react vigorously and even catch fire when exposed to oxygen. Okay, others like iron react slowly, forming rust. Order of reactivity of metals with oxygen. Okay. Potassium, sodium, less reactive, like copper acts slowly, while gold and platinum are very unreactive with oxygen. Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc. Will be high. The reactivity series of metals arranged in order of their decreasing activity after performing the displacement experiment. Reactivity, okay. In the decreasing order of the reactivity towards oxygen. Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, and then iron. Tinsa. Lead, copper, silver, gold, and platinum. Silver, gold, and platinum. Here's general order of reactivity from most to least. Silver. The order of reactivity with oxygen. Ferrari. Then in this reaction, both oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. The oxidation reaction takes place. The metal oxide. The metal reacts with oxygen to form metal oxide. The general reaction is shown below: metal plus oxygen, metal oxide. Zinc oxide. In this reaction, both oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. The oxidation reaction takes place in the metal In this reaction, both oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. The oxidation reaction takes place in the metal. The metal oxidizes to form a positive ion. The reduction reaction takes place in the oxygen. The oxygen gets reduced to form an oxide ion. Redox reaction. Then I'll come back, okay? I have to go. Just wait. How do we check the reactivity of metal with oxygen? To determine the reactivity of metal with oxygen, you can observe how vigorously it reacts when heated in the presence of oxygen. More reactive metals will burn more easily, producing a bright flame, reacting faster, while less reactive metals will show little to no reaction to a slow, less intense reaction. The general reaction is metal plus oxygen. Vigorous reaction. Order of metals reactivity with oxygen. Calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, copper, silver. Metals higher in reactivity series react more readily with oxygen, often forming oxide at room temperature or with gentle heating. Conversely, metal lower in the reactivity series are less reactive and may require more extreme conditions. मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा नींद आ रही है, मैं कॉफ़ी बना के आती हूँ। हाँ, ऐसे तो मैं जाऊँगी ना स्लीप, और मैं बिस्किट भी लेके आऊँगी, ओके? फिर खाते खाते पढ़ेंगे, वरना मैं सो जाऊँगी ना। The reaction of calcium with water is less violent. Reaction of calcium. Calcium starts floating because the bubble of hydrogen gas formed stick to the surface of metal. Magnesium does not react with cold water. It reacts with hot water to form magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen. It starts floating due to bubble of hydrogen gas. Aluminium, iron, zinc do not react. Steam to form metal oxide and hydrogen. Metals such as lead, copper, silver and gold do not react with water at all. Metal surface. Hi Kim Jong-un. I'm sorry. Collect the metal sample except sodium and potassium again. In the sample, if the sample are tarnished, rub them clean with sandpaper. Do not take sodium and potassium as they react vigorously with even cold water. ओके मुझे नींद आ रही है कॉफ़ी पीने के बाद भी ऐसा क्यों होता है मेरे साथ ही खतरनाक क्वेश्चन आया मेरी आंखों के सामने इट्स ओके इम्मा SHED tarnished lose a cause to lose luster Put the sample separately in test tube containing dilute HCl. Suspended thermometer in the test tube. Suspend the thermometers in the test tube so that the bubbles are dipped in the acid. Bulbs are dipped in the acid. Observe the rate of formation of bubbles carefully. Which metals react vigorously with the dilute hydrochloric acid? With which metal did you record the highest temperature? Arrange the metals in the decreasing order of the reactivity with the dilute acid. Write equation for the reaction of magnesium, aluminium, zinc and iron with the dilute hydrochloric acid. Hydrogen gas is not evolved. Hydrogen gas is not evolved when a metal reacts with the nitric acid. It is because nitric HNO3 is a strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes the H2 produced to water and itself gets reduced to any of the nitrogen oxide N2, NO or NO2. But magnesium and manganese react with very dilute HNO3 to evolve H2S. Bubble was the fastest in case of magnesium. The reactivity decrease in the order: magnesium, then aluminium, then zinc, and then iron. In case of copper, no bubbles were seen and the temperature also remained unchanged. This shows the copper does not react with the dilute HCl. Copper does not react with the dilute HCl, okay? Latin for royal water is a freshly prepared mixture of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated nitric acid in the ratio of 3:1. It can dissolve gold even though neither of these acids can do so alone. Aqua regia is a highly corrosive fuming liquid. It is one of the few reagents that is able to dissolve gold and platinum. Take a clean wire of copper and iron nail. Put the copper wire in a solution of iron sulfate and the iron nail in the copper sulfate. Take in test tube. Okay, iron sulfate, copper wire, Cu. On the base, on what basis can you say that the reaction has actually taken place? Can you correlate your observation with activities 3.9 and 3.10? Reactive metals can displace less reactive metal from the compound in solution or molten form. When we have seen in the previous section that all metals are not equally reactive, we check the reactivity of various metals with oxygen, water, and acids. But all metals do not react with this reagent, so we are not able to put all the metal sample we had collected in decreasing order of the reactivity. Displacement reactions. It is simple and easy. If metal A displaces B from its solution, it is more reactive than B. Metal A salt solution of B. Salt solution of A plus metal B. Which metal, copper or iron, is more reactive according to your observation? Copper wire. Iron is more reactive. Okay. Does there any reaction occur when we dissolve iron nail in copper sulfate? What happens when we put iron nail into copper sulfate solution? When iron nail is placed in a copper sulfate solution, a chemical reaction occurs causing an iron nail to become coated with copper and the blue color of copper sulfate solution to fade and turn green. Okay. What happens when you dip कॉपर नील ए मैंने बहुत स्लोली बोल दिया शायद. What happens when you dip copper nail in iron sulfate solution? Copper nail is placed in an iron sulfate solution. No reaction will occur. Because copper is less reactive than iron and therefore cannot displace iron from the solution. Deep breathing. है a chemical reaction called iron nail to become coated with copper. It's coated with copper. Causing the iron nail to become coated with copper, and the blue color of copper sulfate fades and turns green. Blue turns to green. Okay. Misa White. Hi Mark. ओके मैं चली जाती हूँ अभी. ओके मुझे नींद आ रही है थोड़ा सा. बाय बाय. क्योंकि मैंने कंप्लीट भी कर लिया ना ये वाला.